All right, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, troublemakers and trouble solvers, we're going to Nix's Eye. It's big, it's open, it should probably be a 10-player map, but it's not yet, so we're having a 4v4 on there. Looking forward to it. I'm hoping for lots of rails, lots of missiles. Of course, I don't know, most people don't pick their fleets for the map, they pick their fleets for whatever the hell they feel like playing at that time. So who knows? We might end up with nothing but rocket spam out of both teams. The A&S have finally developed rockets, and they're going to bring their own. This is Nix's Eye. Most of you have probably seen it at one point or another. It has points, 5 of them. It has rocks, more than 5 of them, and I don't have enough fingers to count that high. That's right, I only have 5 fingers. Big reveal. 2 of them are on my shoulder. It's really disgusting, actually. Team 1's A&S. Team 2 is OSP. And, yeah, here it is. Here's the deployment screen. I like how flat this map is, how thin it is, how compressed vertically. It makes for. I think this is like a good starter map for people. Honestly, I think it's better than Pillars on that front, because it's 3D, but it's less 3D. Why is the number 4 that your fleet set off? All right. So about the frigate spam that I had just mentioned, it looks like someone is bringing the frigate spam, which is just lovely. Oh, uh-oh. Okay, no, those are tugs. For a second, I thought those were sprinters as well. Oh my god. What are these teams? Okay. Let's take a look. Rebounds, cannons. So these are gun frigates. Oh my. And we got some well-rounded Axfords, some beam Axfords, but with a large cannon and a small cannon. I don't know what these are going to be doing, but they're going to be shooting things of one sort or another. Oh, I like the blue and yellow combo. 2 rails and a cannon. Don't like that. With a bunch of guns and some missiles. VLS-2s. What do you bring to the party? Cyclones. 48 of them. Plus. Okay. Does anybody on this team have an even remotely normal fleet? No. No, because this guy's got guns on his backside instead of, like, support things. So the entire A&S team is unhinged. That's a good sign. In my experience, the most insane player tends to win, although 2 rails and a plasma is pretty insane. Comboed with just a standard gun. Guardian Systems and Hand of the Protectorate, great ship names. But yeah, I don't know about that build, Chief. Slashed out. Alright, we got a monitor team, plasmas, and rocket launchers. RL-36s. That is an absolute wall of death just waiting to be unleashed upon someone. And a little E-War support guy. Plus with some AMMs on him. Alright, we're gonna look at the frigate spam last, since we looked at it first on the end of the team. It's completely arbitrary and I don't care. Cannons, plasma. Okay, Chakas has a semi-average fleet. Oh boy. Let's see it. Cannons, rocket launchers, pinpoint. 2 pinpoints on all of these. Why?
The enemy is securing Zone Eclipse.
RL-18, 2 pinpoints, 1 AMM launcher, which probably has actual AMMs in it, but might also just have missiles, Type 1 missiles. And, yeah, the old nipple gun. It's a 250. The entire frigate fleet is moving in formation down here. This one tug is going to get destroyed by this. So this is... I think that's the one thing that fleet is going to be good at killing is a single tug. Yeah, Illuminators with all these VLS-1s. I think he's bringing some combat... Oh, yeah. He's bringing combat Mark 1 missiles. Oh, my. What am I looking at right now? I was completely screwing around, and it works quite well with the... All teams are going to be missile spamming. So this is the opposite of what was happening last game, where I'd say something and the opposite would happen. I'm saying things, and now that is exactly what is happening. ANS has brought their own version of frigates with rockets. It's just using riposte offensively. Oh my god, and it worked. In fact, he fired off too many. This thing is completely ruined. That's dangerous. I don't think the OSP are bringing that much in the way of anti-missile systems. Just because, generally speaking, ANS players haven't been bringing that much in the way of missiles, because guns just generally fare better against OSP ships. It's harder to get those missiles to target. Another innocent little tug gonna have his life annihilated by this team of overgunned voxels. Why? This man better win almost single-handedly. Dog 404. Yeah, my brain is not found.
The enemy secured zone Dagger.
Another little one of these tugs taking Alpha. It's a good thought, but if these get too spread out, I don't know. I guess they could play the point game, but they certainly can't fight on their own. Especially if this brigade finds something on its own. I mean, I don't even think this got a chance to fire. It's got an RL-18 and some AMMs, presumably, and it just did not shoot anything. This shark team is happily moving off, wrapping around, presumably to get to the backside and catch any cargo ships out by themselves, but there are no container ships on this team. Piranha's being fired at extreme range. I don't think that's going to do anything. Those decoys are going to do even less. Yeah, you don't want to be firing a small volume of rockets at long range. You don't want to be firing any rockets at long range. But just a couple even less. There's a railgun. Oh my. There's another railgun going just long ways through that ship. Quite effective. Got Bravo. This boy's turning around, but not before he takes some vengeance fire. And he's going to fire back with Piranhas. I say this is the range you want to be doing that at. And there is not enough PD to stop that. Oh, there will be if it's flak instead of defenders. Yeah, flak will solve the problem of rockets. Not completely. A couple get through. Some of those miss, but there are enough hits to deal some serious damage to that voxel. DC's out of commission. Citadel CICs, so these voxels are all going to be fighting for a very long time. They got Citadels on them. Ooh, those beams are just deconstructing this poor little tug. Guns coming in. Good damage on those. These sprinters are still on the ultimate flank. Unfortunately, they're not going to run into anything for a very long time. They might be able to catch one of these scout tugs. These aren't the scout tugs, these are the fighting tugs. I don't know what the point of these tugs is. Because you should be playing like the sprinter team is playing, where they're all just bunched up and they're ready to kill something. But they're all spread out. I guess these could catch enemy scouts and shoot them, assuming those scouts don't have any weapons. But that's something else that ANS players aren't really doing, since it's so common on OSP players to have shuttles with either guns or rocket launchers, which are perfect hunter killers for dealing with scouts. These voxels are going to be able to take Bravo without too much competition. Looks like the radar picture for the Protectorate team is not that good. And those plasma rounds are going to be whooshing. Yeah. Good thought on the plasma, but again, voxels have such a tiny profile. If you don't have a lock on them, you're not going to be hitting them at long range. They're finally taking their own natural point. I don't know why that took so long. ANS team, that is, being they. I was taking Boxer.
The enemy secured zone common.
That is so much fire at this one dumpy little ship.
The enemy secured zone boxer.
That's really funny to me. It's not really landed either. Yeah, small ships are just hard to hit in general, I guess. Some more plasma incoming. But, oh, the radar picture is getting better. It's landing right in the areas where deflections are the strongest. It's going to be a big problem for this voxel. Especially with the follow-up fire. Oh, this one's already been damaged pretty significantly. Yeah, so maybe, of course they don't know that, but it maybe not be the best target for that fire. I don't think he has much in the way of combat left. Nice. I mean, its cannons are mostly intact. Two of them are out. Not all. Oh boy, if this sprinter fleet can come around behind this, that is going to dissolve. Oh my. Hybrids getting taken down by AMMs. You don't see that happen very much. Oh, but that is not all the hybrids he has. Unfortunately, it's kind of a colossal waste dumping hybrids out on tugs. I don't know, they are Mark II hybrids, which means they've got size 1 warheads, so maybe it's fine. So I don't think size 1 warheads would be that useful on much else above tugs. Might be able to get some damage in on a liner, just a little bit, but there are no liners on the Protectorate team. Spur group is moving around. They should be seen on someone's radar by now, depending on how. Well, not if they're all running comms off. Ah, this has an illuminator on it. So some of them are certainly going to be seen. This voxel team is just pressing the attack, and it's really not paying off. They're paying the price for that. Looks like this bottom ship is just about out of the fight. Well, it is out of the fight. Just about out of the being alive. Out of this plane of existence. Oh, did those all miss? That's unfortunate. And now that is a colossal waste. This is such a strange build. Just a few guns, and then a whole bunch of missiles. A couple railguns and a cannon. Yeah, where are you firing more at that tug? Because I noticed these were programming. Okay, no, good. I'm going after the Ocellos. I think that's a fantastic use. Well, they're Type 2 hybrids, so the Ocello armor might be good enough. Oof. Certainly not good enough for railguns. And they are getting hit from several directions. I am ready to see where these missiles go. Oh, Sarissas. That'll deal with hybrids pretty effectively if they haven't staged. Which these haven't. These voxels are also getting shot quite brutally. My game is slowing down to a crawl again. Okay, that might be why. That is so many. That is such a colossal waste. Alright, looks like those are going to be handled. So we're going to take a look at these. And they're going for the chaff! Oh, no!
The enemy is securing Zone Atlas.
Oh, dear. That is very unfortunate. Oh, some of them pass through the chaff and catch on to the tug. That's done. Yeah, CSU's down. Everything's
The
down.
enemy is securing Zone Comet.
All these H2s coming in. And it looks like they're going to get through. Yeah, almost no PD firing on this team. No PD firing from this team, in fact. I don't have any point defense. That would be why there is none firing. No point defense is a huge risk. Light point defense is kind of dangerous. None is a colossal risk. They're able to put out the damage onto this voxel team, though. Only one voxel really still remaining. That's going to be this guy over here. But if... No, he's going after the... Force that deflected. If he could fire those missiles into this team more, that could be well, a lot of damage. Okay, and they're switching targets. Damn, that looks beautiful. Huge barrage of doom and destruction coming out. Oh my goodness. This is having a bad time, a very bad time. I think my game doesn't like it when we look out into the abyss. It has to render all this extra crap out here. So, that's good to know at least. Can't make up his mind on what he wants to fire on. Now the Axfords have become the primary target. Which I certainly agree with for the plasma ships. Oh, speaking of plasma ships... This little brigade that hasn't been doing anything yet is coming in from behind. They're probably going to take Bravo, and if they can get a lot of plasma onto these Axfords, that could be some bad news for them. These two Ocellos are still in the fight, and there's a one Voxel is also still in the fight. I think this one's dead, though. Oh, yeah. Oh, boy. Here we go again. This is going into the team that has absolutely no anti-missile capacity whatsoever. And, oh my, that is not doing as much damage as I would have expected. That's what happens when you use Type 1s. No armor penetration whatsoever. Well, I say that. And then here goes the Ocello. Oh my. That is, everything's on fire. The reactor's on fire. The other reactor's on fire. I have, for some reason, been forcibly zoomed onto this missile, which I did not want or tell my game to do. There's a lot of things on fire. Can I see how many crits this thing has going on it at once? No, I'd have to count them manually, because that normally shows up in this pane up here. I've switched targets. Spreading these. How many missiles do these sprinters have? Oh my god. I know exactly what my thumbnail's gonna be. It's gonna be those guys. Good night. What is this? This is, yeah, I mean, this is the ANS's answer to the rocket spam. Is, hey, guess what? I got rockets too, but they fucking home. And I can bring 1,000,000 of them for some reason. Oh, what? Oh, well, it looks like most of these are going to miss. Even if they do get through. Oh, no, they're going to the rear one, which has been plasma, so that's actually the right choice. Unfortunately, rebounds and stonewalls are really good, and these have both of those. Dealing with those rockets, so those rockets aren't going to do anything at all. Plasma fire is still coming in, which is good. We have missed another volley. And another volley. It never stops. He's already dead. But a man who builds this fleet fears not the rules of gods nor men, and will happily missile the corpses of his enemies without a care in the world. Another rocket blast coming in here, and it's also still just going to be the exact same amount of useful as the first one. Because why would it be anything else? He's gonna missile the dead voxel. Absolutely brutal. At least we get to see some explosions. There's more. There's so many. I don't even know where these are going. They don't even know where they're going. They're just sort of going. Oh, this Ocello's done. Yep. That's cooked. This whole fleet's done, seems like. I'm not sure what's really... Oh, no. Here's, well, I mean, yeah. It is done. Oh, these monitors hold up surprisingly well to the rockets. They really do. Or to the Type 1 missiles. I don't know what to call them. Just ANS rockets, I guess. OSP, while this whole war has been going on over here between Bravo and Echo, the OSP player that I discounted, NOP, has been playing the cap game very effectively, taking Charlie, taking Delta, and it looks like he's trying to take Alpha, but he's having to fight this Voxel, which doesn't really have much left, but it does have 2 cannons, which is, yeah, two cannons beats 1 cannon. This is the most pathetic slap fight I've seen in a while. We've got another barrage of rockets coming into another dead voxel, although this one is less dead than the last one. So that's a pretty good use of those, I think. Considering they're not, gonna be useful on much else. Big reactor explosion out of the Ocello over there. Yeah, now this one is dead. I'd say that voxel team is done for, although this guy is somehow firing. Reinforced or Citadel CICs are pretty good, I guess. Yeah, he's not going to be firing for long, though. All that served is to make yourself a target. That's fine. Getting out damage is the name of the game. Somehow still alive because the reactor which has 4 crits and is going to explode. That's going to explode because you have to fix all the crits before fixing the explosion. The Piranha, ah man, rockets into those sprinters are exactly what you want, but the Axfords are here to protect them. They have more PD than I was expecting, really, and they're also, well, yeah, that's something else I didn't consider, is they're able to just dodge. Sprinters are fast enough that you flank burn them in the opposite direction, or in a direction, in an oblique angle, and they won't get hit. Another giant rocket volley coming into these Axfords, which, as we've already seen, doesn't work. I don't know why you're trying to do the same thing 3 times. Somehow, Danny Ling's... None of these are classified as dead. I spoke too soon on the not working front. Some of them got through, and enough got through to knock out one of the stone walls, which means a whole lot more are going to get through. That stone wall might have been knocked out by plasma fire, because that's pretty strong right now. Reactors are on fire. The drive's on fire. That is one beat up Axford. The other Axford is bruised, but certainly in the fight still. And Charlie's being capped by the same yellow and blue guy. This poor guy really wants to get these railguns to fight a real target, but he's kind of just had to be on,
The enemy secured zone common.
I don't even know what to call this. Cleanup duty? Janitorial duty? There we go. Mopping up the tugs. Wow, those plasma makes a cool sound when they fly by, at least. Yeah, it looks like this boy's pretty much out of the fight. I mean, he's got one gun, and it's firing. Damn shame he spent all those rockets early, because this would absolutely be the time to use those. With the PD network severely damaged, a whole bunch of rockets into the sides of these two would take them out immediately. Those were spent early on when they had strong point defense. One monitor over here. If I can... Hello? Okay, cool. Oh, boy. Yeah, I've been waiting for that. Nice. Looks like it bathed a couple of these monitors. Yeah, it definitely roasted a few of these. It definitely roasted almost this entire fleet, in fact. And there goes the other one. Roasting even more of this man's fleet. Oh boy, the armor on these is, if that sprinter team can get in range to dump rockets onto those monitors will be in huge trouble, because they do not have the armor anymore to eat rockets. This standoff Ocello group is about to be a really sad Ocello group. A lot of Auroras coming out, which are pretty effective against this, yeah. Nice. Shut that down completely. There's one with a gun. I think a couple of these have guns on them. Yeah, several of them do. But those Grazers and those Auroras are just removing those Mark 1s from existence almost immediately. Mark 1s, of course, have almost no health. And those sprinters have got to get the hell out of there. Yeah, they're turning and they're going to be burning. But I think it's a little too late. The Ocellos have them locked up and are dishing out a pretty decent amount of damage onto those sprinters. Monitors are closing in on these Axfords. Axfords kind of can't fight back. I mean, they're definitely still shooting. But they are not able to really to move effectively, and you gotta be able to move to fight. Otherwise, this happens. Of course, these monitors should also probably be moving around. Is this still alive? How? It's just a reinforced CIC or Citadel CIC, a reactor, and a drive. I guess that's all you need, eh? You can cap points with that. There's not much gunfire coming out of these monitors. Ah, that's because these have plasma and rockets, and as we saw earlier, they wasted all of their rockets. So all I really got now is plasma. That's a big problem. I thought these things were dead because these monitors were going to chew them up with T-30s, but our L-36s are out of gas. So really the story right now is Ocellos versus Sprinters, which is an odd battle to say the least. Sprinters are doing their damnedest to maneuver around and force the very slow to rotate guns on these Ocellos to, well, spend a lot of time rotating. Neither group can really do that much, although every unfortunate rail hit is going to do a lot of damage to these Sprinters, and every single Sprinter, one single 250 bullet that goes into these guys is going to do almost nothing. So at the end of the day, I think the Ocellos win this. Those Sprinters need to just leave. They don't really seem to want to do that. They want to shark these Ocellos real bad. Are they out of missiles? Oh, yeah. Well, them being out of missiles or nearly out of missiles. Oh, those are decoys. Yeah, that means their firepower is extremely limited. So, yeah, staying up here and fighting these is about all I got. They could play the cap game. But this player, you don't build a fleet like this to win. You build a fleet like this to kill people. Violently, brutally. You build a fleet like this to see lol WTF come out of your opponents after they get annihilated by Mark I missiles from a bunch of crappy little toasters with engines strapped to them. Oh man, this is beautiful. Yeah, and this fleet over here, I mean, it's dumping the plasma down. Neither of these guys probably has any armor remaining, but it just doesn't matter. There's no follow-up. And plasma on its own, though it does deal damage, doesn't deal enough damage. Too bad about those rockets. This guy just keeps killing tugs. 2 tug corpses on Charlie. There's about to be a third. I'm betting this one's gonna head over there. Maybe not. Maybe he's just gonna hide near Delta. Nice. These Axforce are gonna cap Echo because just getting shot with plasma isn't enough to kill a man, at least not fast. What did I tell you? Reinforced CNC, a drive, and a reactor. That's all you need to cap points. Oh, man. Absolutely incredible. I'm still not entirely sure who's going to win. I'm also not entirely sure who's winning militarily. We'd have a better idea if these Axfords was engage these Ocellos. I think the Ocellos win that considering just how plasma the Axfords have gotten. So he's going after Alpha. Oh! And just a couple of piranhas. That looks like a whole battery of piranhas into the side of this voxel will kill it and prevent it from capping Bravo. That's pretty clutch. Unfortunately, that was probably all the rockets this thing had. It wasn't. Yeah, it was. 118s are probably AMMs. Which means this one is going to be able to cap unless this has... Well, it's got a C-53 on it. Process of cycling. Yeah, I honestly don't know who wins this fight. It's another little fishy slap fight. Their ship is still extant, but definitely not on the field in a meaningful capacity. Two monitors still just dumping plasma round after plasma round after plasma round into these Axfords. But I just don't think there's much to follow up. If these Ocellos survive, and they should, they could definitely do it. No, maybe they're not gonna survive. The R drive's out. Big problem. Got plenty of restores, he's just not using them. Yeah, I mean, his ship is mostly fine, but it's got the weird build with 2 railguns and a plasma. This is the support ship. And support is the last thing this team needs. It needs direct combat capacity. It's got too much support, actually, right now. It's got the monitor. Well, it's got far fewer monitors than it had. All these have been slowly beamed down by the Axfords. Taking plasma on the chin or on the butt, as it may be. And it's just not doing much. Alright, how's this slap fight going? We've got a turret and a gimbal. Just sort of going at it. Looks like the gimbal ship is just a little more mobile than the turreted ship. Oh man, 1 bullet off into space. How's the return fire gonna look? Let's see. In the most pathetic fight in Nebula's history. 1 scout cannon versus 1 scout cannon. I actually do want to see how much damage this volley is going to do, because these things dump out volleys of 15. Pretty fast, too. Yeah, and if it can go to the right spot, and it's going to the right spot, it's going directly into that drive. That drive's where a lot of the electricity on this ship is coming from. I mean, it's got a micro-reactor. But if that drive goes down, this thing's in big trouble.
The enemy is securing Zone Eclipse.
God, yeah, the slap fight over Eclipse is still happening. Alright, looks like that's out of ammo, or might be out of alive. No, it's gotta reload. It's 1. Yeah, that's still counted as alive, so when the Axfords leave, it immediately starts capping, even though it's just a CIC, not even a reactor. Not even a CIC, what is this? Ah, it's the auxiliary steering. Saving the day. Incredible. So it's just a couple dudes in a hot compartment with a steering wheel. And darker lighting. For added dramatical effect. Taking control of Echo. Small group of sprinters moving off towards Delta. A couple rockets? Ah, presumably they were fired at you. And presumably some hit, because this is in much worse shape than it was the last time we were over here. This has been the silliest game. This is why I like Nyx's Eye. Because with these points being so far apart, you wind up with a whole bunch of tiny, tiny battles in little spots. Like, this guy has only stayed on Alpha and Charlie and has been through a lot. He's got at least 4 kills, probably 5, by himself on small vessels. Oh no, that's Sprinters on his team, so presumably he didn't kill that. And he's fighting 2 more guys. It's also added some missile support to the fight that went on over here, but it's mostly been just fucking around on the back line. Cap game of the OSP appears to be just a little stronger at heat. This boy finished off the sprinter. Oh man, can he take another sprinter? I'm thinking probably not. Not if it's firing RPF. Not as beat up as this already is. I don't know. Those C-53s are pretty good. They just fire real fast. They just dump a lot of damage down on the field real quick. We'll go back to that later. Or maybe not at all. I'm sick of the tiny ships all fighting each other. No, it is really fun to watch because it's the most pathetic sort of combat you see. Because normally it's big ships duking it out across extreme ranges like these two groups are doing. So just seeing two little ships just throw rocks at each other is a special treat. That never ever happens. Oh man. Damage going into this guy. Oh, it is not enough. They don't have a good radar picture. That's a big problem. I think those Axfords are gonna be down for the count here pretty soon. Especially with accurate fire like that into those plasmid sides. Oh yeah. Look at this thing. It is just completely blacked out. The armor has been cooked off of this. It looks like it was in multiple reactor explosions. I like how the bridge and the turrets are completely fine though. Like this gun turret, 100% fine. Not even touched by plasma. Paint, not even scratched. Same with all these. Even though the entire ship is blacked out. It's just really funny looking. It doesn't affect the gameplay. Those turrets are still damaged by plasma, but it's just funny looking. Man, those rails. I doubted it, but I think those rails have been doing a decent amount of work. Just generally making the repair teams, the already overtaxed repair teams on these ships work that much harder, though the Axfords are hard burning. For whatever that means, with their critical and very low thrust power. Towards these Ocellos. I think they go on flank speed. Oh yeah, there's no way they're not going flank speed, especially with the Raiders. And it's coming down to the wire, but it looks like the OSP is gonna take it by playing the cap game. Our NOP MVP with this stupid little tug fleet has just generally been annoying and kept the ANS players kind of off balance. And not by fighting, but just by keeping, not by like winning engagements, but just by fighting, being able to fight just enough to keep other ships out of the main battle. Like if this Axford or that Vauxhall was in the main battle for most of it, instead of just sitting and playing whack-a-mole with these tugs the whole game, ANS could have done a lot more. We have this fight still going on, which is just too funny not to chuckle at. It's actually crazy to me how much more firepower a tug can mount than a sprinter. 'Cause they're kind of the same class. Just dumpy little corvettes. That was a very good game. A lot of stuff went on. A lot of stuff happened that I missed. At least on the main screen. I need to pay more attention to the side panes. It's hard to do, though, when you're trying to like keep the action centered and talk about the action. It's hard to also look at what's happening on the side. That's definitely something I need to work on. Yikes. Yeah, this is that Vauxhall team that came in a Bravo side and just came out hands flying, guns blazing, and they got annihilated for it by the entire OSP team. Just sort of, except for these tugs, sort of gunned them down. Real unfortunate. How much cumulative damage did all these sprinters do? I don't really feel like doing all this math this late at night, so we're gonna say a lot and that they were absolutely worth. Yeah, look at that. Look at the hit rates on these. I hate this. I hate that this worked. He had to have. These have to be cranked. That's why he was getting in so close. They're probably like full damage and full speed. So they've got an effective engagement range of less than a kilometer. But they've got power and they can get through point defense. I'm surprised he's not hot firing them. Those, I guess that's a little advanced. It is kind of hard to manage your hot fired missiles. I've learned that the hard way. Man, these Axfords. It's a cool 40,000 damage between these two. And they just, I mean, they did kind of the same strat that the Voxels did, is they just drove forward and fired. But they did it in a little better of a position than the Voxels. Voxels were also in front of these Axfords, and they took a lot of the fire. That might have been better served on the Axfords. What about this guy? 10k out of you? That's not terrible. And 19 hard kills on these missiles, which is really unfortunate. 15 misses, which is absolutely unacceptable on hybrids. Yeah, 11k. And he just shot at tugs the whole game. I mean, there for the early part, there were a few rail shots coming out to cover that first group of voxels. But for the most part, he's just shooting at the stupid tugs driving around and being a menace. That's so funny. Yeah, these guys, it's unfortunate that these guys got waxed first before the RL-36 plasma team, because they could have done so much more damage with those T-30s over the long run. Well, I say that, but these guys do have good damage numbers, considering. Just the problem with the 36 is you blow your load and then you're done. No, those are still good. I think those were the overall. They did better than I thought. And presumably a lot of that damage is coming from plasma as well. No, not really. Man, that's so many plasma shots to be doing that little damage. It's 55 plasma shots. 1700 damage. Nothing. Yeah, it's less damage than rails do, by the way. At 59, 2.3. So, yikes. I mean, they're not there for the damage, they're there for the withering. And this stupid fucking tug team did some damage, actually. Yeah, these ships that managed to get their piranhas to target and not. Oh, well, that's unfortunate. Oh, this is probably the guy that. No? I was gonna say this is probably the one that just got eaten alive in the first 5 minutes of the game. Yeah, here we go. 349. Those sprinters just deleted this thing from existence before the player could react. God, that was funny. All right. Well, that has been that. It's a really good match. Yeah, I don't really have anything else. I don't know. I want to say something clever about the sprinters, but nothing comes to mind. So, see you later. Bye.